what's going on, everyone? Before we get into our conversation, I want to let you know this podcast is sponsored by BetRivers.com. BetRivers.com, the best place for all your sports gambling needs. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You can also watch all of these episodes on the Field of 68 YouTube channel. Now, let's get into our conversation. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Eric Devendorf, your host of the Scores Table podcast. Now, today we have on that Syracuse legend, one of the best pure scorers to ever come through Syracuse. He scored 1,000 points in only 2 seasons at Syracuse, and also one of the most clutch players to ever come through Syracuse. My guy, Tyus Battle. Appreciate you coming on, T.
I appreciate you having me.
Oh, good. So tell me, how's it going out there in Israel? How you loving it? How's the season going? Update me a little bit.
It's been amazing. I started this season off in Italy, and then I ended up changing teams to a team in Israel. I've been here for about a month right now, but I'm loving the country. I'm loving the culture here. The weather's amazing, so I have no complaints at all.
Yeah, we got a snowstorm coming up tonight, so yeah, I'm definitely a little bit jealous. But let's start, bro. Let's start back home, because you're from Livingston, New Jersey. You grew up in New Jersey, but you come from like a basketball family already. Your dad was a Division II All-American. Your stepmom played. Your brother plays at Temple. I know your sister plays too. So I would say where did it come from, but kind of, tell me what it was like growing up playing. Obviously learning from your dad, playing against your brother, and kind of how it all started, that love of the game.
Like you said, my dad played basketball at Division II level, but he was a great basketball player, and he's the one that really got me into the sport. I tell everyone this, but he used to bribe me with ice cream. If I did like 10, 15 minutes of ball hand each day when I was younger, he would go out and take me to get my favorite ice cream. And ever since then, I just fell in love with the game. We have a very competitive household. Just between me, my dad, and my little brother, we're just super competitive with everything we do. So my little brother's at Temple now. He's playing great. Unfortunately, he got injured this year. But before that, he was averaging 20 points per game, 21 points per game. So he had a great season. My little sister, she's going to high school next year, St. John Vianney, which is one of the best high schools in the country. So we're definitely a basketball household.
So how did it start though? Like, what age do you remember, really, I guess, taking it serious?
The age I really took it serious was when I was about 10. We had our own. So my dad put together my dad used to run basketball clinics. First off, he used to run basketball clinics in the area. We had one of the most popular basketball clinics in New Jersey at the time. And then he said he decided to take it to the AAU level. So we put together a couple guys in the area, made an AAU team around, I was about 10 years old. And the next year we actually finished third in the country. So I think that's when we really started taking basketball seriously, and I saw other players around the country play, and those are great times. Great times.
So Pops it was like a local. He started like a local AAU team with the guys just around the area, and then you go out around the country. What age was this?
So we were traveling when we were really traveling to New Orleans, all across the country, California when I was about 10. And then 11. So we also have guys who play college now, like Jagan Mosley went to Georgetown. Jameer Harris plays at Seton Hall. Bryce Aiken, I know him very well. He's at Seton Hall. So we had some really good players, and I just met a lot of guys throughout on the way.
So, was this a team? Obviously, it wasn't like sponsored by like Adidas or Nike or anything like that. So you guys was doing it just like, by yourself, like covering the costs and all that.
Yeah, we're covering the costs. We just love playing basketball. My dad, and that just shows how much my dad loves the game of basketball. He just put this team together. He invested all his time into this, a lot of money into this, just for us to have that experience and just to see the country, get to know other people just through the game of basketball, which was amazing.
So talk to me about some of those backyard one-on-ones with Pops, because I know I know Pops chiseled up, you know what I'm saying? So I already know at a young age he was beating you up. When was it finally starting to be like, all right, you started to beat him a little bit, or you were the one doing the beating up?
The beating up for me started when I got into high school, about freshman, sophomore year. He started slowing down a little bit. He wasn't getting up on his jump shot like he used to. So, I took full advantage of that. But after my sophomore year, he just stopped playing me. He just didn't want to. He moved on to my little brother because he said, "Nah, I'm done with you." So
Shit, that's a hell of a run though.
it is.
You know what I mean?
It is. It is. I mean, and my dad. He's a competitive guy. He's still in good shape. So and he was grabbing the rim when I was at Syracuse my sophomore year, and he was like 40-some years old. So he's definitely a competitive guy, and he's always trying to prove someone wrong. So it was definitely competitive one-on-ones back in that time.
Well, that's where you got that competitive streak in you from Pops. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's where it started. What age did I guess the recruitment really start to pick up? So kind of like talk about like in high school, going freshman year and so on. When did it really start to pick up? You talked about AAU, so you guys were kind of already on the scene, but high school is when it really, recruitment started to pick up from different schools. Talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. So high school, definitely, I was recruited by a lot of different schools. I'm pretty sure I received my first. So I received my first offer my freshman year of high school. I think it was from Rutgers, Miami, and Rhode Island. It was all in one day. So that was my first 3 offers in one day. But throughout high school, I was recruited by a lot of schools, which was a blessing. I mean, I visited Duke, Michigan, Kentucky, of course, Syracuse, UConn. So it was definitely it was definitely a lot. I mean, and as a high school, it's a little stressful. I mean, it's a big decision. It's a life-changing decision. So it's not always easy. But with the help of my family and everything else, I think it helped me make the easy decision at the end of the day.
So what schools, I mean, guess really were like serious involved? I know you were one of the top players in the country, so you had, every school on you, but what schools were really there in the beginning and then stuck with you all the way through?
I mean, of course, Syracuse. I mean, I was Coach Hop saw me at a young age, so I was close with Coach Hop. But before Syracuse, I was actually committed to Michigan. I committed to Michigan my junior year. Duke was always stuck around. Louisville. But yeah, I mean, I committed to Michigan my junior year. And that was before I even took my official to Syracuse. I took a unofficial to Syracuse, but I didn't take my official. And I promised my mom before this whole recruitment process was over, I'll take a visit to all my schools. And I didn't take one to Syracuse. So I decommitted from Michigan, took my official to Syracuse. And I mean, it was over after that. I fell in love with Syracuse, and that's how I made my decision off that.
So why the change of heart? Because at that time, Michigan was they were on the up and out. They were really good. You know what I mean? Just, NCAA tournament team, Coach Beilein. And you had the home state. That's where I'm from. So I got to, shout out to Michigan. But yeah, why the change of heart, bro? And then, deciding to go to the Cuse. What was that really deciding factor for you?
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm from the East Coast. I mean, the Northeast, Syracuse, close to home. I mean, the fans there, there's the best fans in the country. And during my visit, I actually went to the Syracuse Duke game, and after seeing that just sold me. I mean, there was 30,000 people in the stands. It was an amazing experience, especially for a guy coming out of high school. I went to a small high school, and seeing that, having that experience. And also, you're playing for a legendary coach, a Hall of Fame coach. So I really, it was an easy decision for me.
So you decommit from Michigan, and then you commit to Cuse. Like, what was that time like in between when you decommitted? Like, who were you talking to? And then, like, did you already know what time it was right away?
honestly, it was tough. It was hard because I had to call Coach Beeline up and tell him I'm decommitting, and anyone who knows Coach Beeline, they know he's a great guy. So that was hard for me, especially because I'm really loyal, and for me to make that type of decision at a young age was not easy. But then again, I mean, at the end of the day, my family really helped me through that because I did get a lot of hate for it from fans, which is obvious that's going to happen. But at the end of the day, I got to do what I feel was best for me and my family, and I think, and I still know going to Syracuse was the best decision.
Yeah, it was funny because I mean, your path was similar to mine, bro. Because in the same state too. Like, so you committed to Michigan, I was committed to Michigan State.
Oh yeah.
So I had to go through that same process. I had to call Coach Izzo, you know, young, 16 years old, calling Coach Izzo. For me, it was like that because he told me, he was like, "This is probably the worst decision you ever gonna make." That's what he told me. So I'm like, God damn, I'm 16 years old at the time, and I got a lot of bad decisions to make in my life. I don't think that one would be, you know what I'm saying? So I know for you calling Coach Beeline, it was like, it was tough. I'm sure, I don't know if he said all that to you, but what was that conversation like between you and him though?
Nah, he kept it very professional. He said, if you ever need anything, let me know. I mean, he's a great guy. So even throughout the whole entire process, I mean, it was never any bad blood between us or anything like that. None of the guys on the coaching staff there was bad blood against. Because actually, it's funny because my little brother actually ended up going to Butler when he went to college, and Coach Val, he was an assistant at Michigan at the time, and ended up leaving and went to Butler. So
Lavelle Jordan.
Yeah. So we always kept that relationship, and it was no bad blood between any of us.
So you commit to Cuse, you do your thing at high school, you're one of the top players in the country, and then your first year you get to Cuse, you threw you right in the fire. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't, you know, freshmen at that level, sometimes they like, you know, 5-10 minutes here. Like you played 30 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? You average 11 points as a freshman. Was that like something that you expected to come in right away? Did coach like let you know that's what it was? Talk about that year.
Honestly, in the beginning, it wasn't easy. I mean, in the beginning, I had to really work. I had to work my way up a lot that year in the beginning. Actually, in the beginning of the year, I wasn't playing as much. But every game, I mean, every practice, every game, I just tried to step on the floor and try to just prove myself out there. We had a really talented squad that year. We had Andrew White, John Gillen, Tyler Lydon, Tyler Roberson. We had Torian, who was really talented, Frank. So we had a super, super talented squad that year. So as a freshman, being put in that situation and you know, having some type of hype behind the name, it wasn't easy, but I never lacked confidence in my game. And so every time I step on the floor, I try to prove that I belonged on the floor.
Let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at BetRivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with BetRivers yet, now's the time, because they are offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Pay Instant Approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With basketball season right around the corner, there's never been a better time to get in on the action by going to BetRivers.com today or downloading the BetRivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call telephone number 1-800-GAMBLER. And I was lucky enough to be on staff for those few years that you were with the program. And I know in my head, it's a few moments that your freshman year that really stick out. In particular, probably the Duke game, and when you know, John hits that half court shot. What moment in your mind during that year was a turning point for you? Was it like a game, or was it in a practice where something happened where you like, all right, I belong out here? You know what I mean?
Man, I think the turning point for me was my freshman year, the game against Virginia. It was actually, I mean, if they didn't take the wins away, it would have been Coach Boeheim's 1000th win. It was at the Dome. I mean, we're playing a Virginia team who was a top 10 team in the country. And during that team, my freshman year, we were struggling. We needed some big wins because we were losing a lot of non-conference games, so we needed ACC wins. And that game, I played great. I ended up having, I think, 24 that game. So I think after that game, I was like, yeah, I feel like I could really do this. I mean, you're playing in the best conference in the country against a very good team. So I think that helped my confidence a lot throughout the rest of the season.
What was your favorite memory that year? Yeah, of that whole season. Because like you said, it was a tough year, bro. Because we ended up having to beat Miami in the ACC tournament, and we weren't able to do it, right? So then we were playing in the NIT, but it was still like the ACC was so tough, you know what I mean? And it was a lot of talent, and it was a lot of good moments, man. What was the one that really kind of stood out?
It has to be the Duke game. It has to be the Duke game. I mean, that experience was crazy. I mean, that was a very good Duke team. John had an amazing in that game, and I think he had like 26. Then to come down, hit the game winner, packed crowd, 30,000 plus in the stands was amazing. So I don't think, it's easily that.
Yeah, that, I mean, shit, you went to the, you talk about your visit, that was the Cuse Duke. So, and it was kind of the same situation, right? The same type of crowd, right? And now at the end, he hits it. Then now you get that real experience of everybody rushing the floor, and like that's why you came to Cuse.
Yeah, I mean, and just to be on the floor with all that happening, it was so loud, and people don't understand. It was so loud on that floor, like you couldn't even hear your own thoughts. Like you just have people rushing the floor. But yeah, that was an amazing experience, man. Amazing.
So you had for a freshman had a great year. Like you said, 30 minutes a game. It was some ups and downs team wise and for yourself personally. But overall, a successful freshman campaign for yourself. But then into the second year is probably really that was the breakout year for you. That was because you going in, you're gonna have the ball in your hands more. You demand, you end up averaging 17, get second team all ACC. What was it between the freshman and sophomore year, in that summer, that really made you, get to that level?
I mean, I think like I said before, after the Virginia game, I really started getting more confidence in my game and more confidence in myself. And what also helped, it helped Coach Boeheim even have more confidence in me. So, I mean, he started giving me the ball at the end of the year, having me make plays off the dribble, and stuff like that. So finishing off my freshman year, I think the last 10 games, I averaged like 17 the last 10 games of the season. So, I mean, going into my sophomore year, I already knew like I can do this, and for me, just getting more shots and having the ball in my hands more, I knew I'll be fine. So, my sophomore year, I think I really took off after my sophomore year. So that was a great season.
Is there something that, like, after that freshman year or into that summer was like you really wanted to pinpoint what you wanted to work on in your game?
Oh yeah, I mean that summer, I mean, just better at making plays off the balance, making better decisions, and I worked extremely hard with GMAC, every morning, 6 a.m. I was there all summer, so we put in a lot of work. I mean, you were playing pickup with us. I mean, from time to time, so it was a lot of fun. It was a great summer, and leading up to that season, I had a feeling we were going to be pretty good. I know a lot of fans didn't think so that year, but I knew just the chemistry we had on the court with that group of guys. I had a feeling we were going to have a pretty good year that year.
Yo, bro, think about this, man. Like, you got to think about all the players that came through Cuse, right? Melo, DC, all the guards, talk about Johnny Flynn, Sherm Douglas, Pearl. Just, we could go on and on. But you were one of few to be able to score 1,000 points in just 2 years. Like, you, at the time, you playing, you in college, so maybe you're not thinking about it like that. But now that you could sit back, you playing pro, I mean, what does that mean to you, bro? To be able to, like, you just did it in 2 years. You know what I mean? You were able to score. That's a lot of buckets, bro. And like you averaged 17 and or almost 19 points your second year.
Yeah.
You ever just think about that? Like, yo, I was able to score 1,000 points at Cuse in 2 years.
Honestly, it didn't really hit me until like after that season, after that whole season was over, and I was able to look back and watch some film and stuff like that, and see when they were putting up all the like the stats and the history of Syracuse and stuff like that, and to have my name mentioned with some amazing players, Syracuse greats, basketball greats, is amazing. It's a huge honor, and I worked. I mean, I worked really hard to just that summer I worked so hard just to have a good season, and because I was going to that summer thinking like I did not want to go back to the NIT. I mean, for my dream, as a kid, you want to play in the national NCAA tournament. So I mean, so that's what really pushed me. And yeah, I look back and it's an amazing honor.
And we didn't go to the NAT that year. You know, we ended up making it to the tournament, and I'm pretty sure that was the year we beat Michigan State in Detroit, right?
Yeah,
Beat
yeah,
Michigan State, ended up going to Nebraska, losing to a really good Duke team.
yeah.
But talk about that run though, because that was we talked about you being clutch. You hit some fucking clutch shots against Michigan State that was a Michigan State home game. You know what I'm saying? That's a home game against Michigan. We weren't supposed to win that game. Kind of walk me through that game and some of those moments, and even talk about Braden coming in, making an impact in the top of the zone at the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean that first off, that atmosphere, like you said, it was a home game for Michigan State. It was a home game, so we knew. But the funny thing is, before that game, we knew we were gonna win that game. We had there was no doubt in our mind we were gonna win that game. Just we were playing so well defensively. I feel like we were so connected as a team. I mean, the 2 games before we held Arizona State and then TCU to under 60 points.
Yeah.
So going to the Michigan State game, we were confident. And for me, I was struggling a little bit throughout the tournament. I mean, I wasn't scoring as much. I was a little bit below my average. Even during that Michigan State game, I was struggling. I mean, I didn't really start scoring until the second half, and it was a close game the whole game. But I think Frank got fouled out, so Braden had to come in with he played 6 minutes in a national tournament game as a walk-on, which was amazing. I still talk to him now. He brings it up all the time. He did an amazing job. He got a couple steals, got a block shot. So I mean that whole game was just a team effort, and it just showed so much about the cohesiveness of our team and how we always stayed together. So.
And that zone was a motherfucker too. And that
Yeah,
Izzo was, he's a Hall of Fame coach, but he didn't figure it out. Like they were putting the big guy in the middle, and he wasn't making any shots. Usually, you're gonna put the playmaker in the middle. Like, what was the difference with the zone? Like, because it was our zone was, we had an athletic zone. You know what I'm saying? You would pick up top, and then guys moving in the bottom. What was it different that game though about that zone?
Man, honestly, I think we had them a little nervous. We had them thinking, they were missing a couple threes. You know how it goes. You miss a couple threes, and then we're out here talking to them, telling them to shoot it. Like, that gets in your head a little bit. So, we just kind of honestly, I think we out tough in that game. So we just wanted a little bit more, and we just played like it. We played like it at the end of the day.
They had a good point guard, Cassius Winston, too. Cassius, he was tough.
Yeah, Cassius was good. They had Miles Bridges. They had, I think, Jaren Jackson. So they had a pretty good team.
They had a mob. They definitely had a team, bro. So after the year, so we end up losing to Duke. And then after the year, you declare for the draft. You declare for the draft, but then you end up coming back to school for your next year. What went into that decision to declare, and then what went into the decision to come back?
Well, I declared because I feel like I had a great season. I ended up averaging, I think, 19 something. So I thought I had a great season. We made a great run in the tournament. But at the end of the day, I came back because I wanted to finish up and get my degree. I wasn't far off, and I always promised my mom that's what I'll do. So I just wanted to get that done, because I felt like if I left school, it'll be hard to get back in the rhythm of doing schoolwork again and stuff like that when you're playing basketball professionally. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. So I decided to come back. We had Elijah there, everyone returning. So I knew we would have a pretty good team going into that season, and that was the reason I made that decision.
And then when you told Coach you was coming back, what was he say? What did he say?
He was definitely happy. He was definitely happy. Yeah, he was definitely excited.
No doubt. Yeah, because you came back junior and average, same thing, close to 18, average 19 the last year, but now we got a little bit more firepower with Elijah. I think that was Buddy's freshman year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Buddy's freshman year.
But I want to talk about the clutch gene you got, bro. Just talk about like the mentality to be able to, I guess, have the balls to take those type of shots. You got game-winning shot. We talk about, Georgetown. We just talked about Michigan State. Throughout your career, you just hit a number of big-time shots that a lot of players don't have the guts to take. Because they worried about, if I miss it now, it's all on me. I guess what went into your mindset of when it got down to that situation, in those moments that you wanted the ball and you wanted to take those type of shots?
I mean, honestly, it started growing up, watching Kobe Bryant. I mean, I was a huge Kobe fan growing up, still am. And just his mindset when approaching the game, just having no fear, always wanted the ball in his hand when the game was on the line, and just having the belief that he's good enough to make it happen. So when I was a young age, I always try to stick with that mindset, even if I doubted myself. Every player has doubts occasionally, but sometimes you gotta lie to yourself and be like, yeah, I could do this. So, and that just kept on building confidence in myself. And going into college, I had no fear when the game was on the line. I never thought, well, what if I miss this shot? What if I get the ball stolen? What if I never thought negatively. So, and that's really pretty much it. Just having no fear and just being able to take those shots in those situations.
Yeah, easier said than done. Because a lot of guys, they could say that, but then when they get into that, clutch time when you want the ball,
you get real shaky.
Yeah, he might give it up. So you got to be confident and have that belief in yourself. Make a miss, I'm gonna go ahead and be that guy. So
yeah. I mean, and there's been times like the Notre Dame game at the Dome. I actually had an opportunity the ball was in my hand. I think I scored the 3 baskets in a row, and then the ball was in my hands there was about, I think, 30 seconds left on the clock. Get a ball screen. I go up to take a jump shot. Ball slips out my hand. They go down and they make a layup to win the game. So like, a lot of people after that, they'll have the thought process like, damn, like, they'll second guess themselves next time. But things like that happens. You can't doubt yourself next time you get that situation. I mean, you got to go up with the same confidence you had the first time. So that's how I always play.
Man, I used to have a poster in my room that Michael Jordan, it had like, you probably seen it too, where it had I failed this many times or whatever. Yeah. Like it said like he missed so many game-winning shots, you know what I mean, or turned the ball over or whatever, but he still had that confidence and that belief in himself to continue to try to make those plays. And that's what the great ones do, bro. Like that's why, you go down as one of the greatest clutch scorers in Syracuse history. That's saying a lot too. That's like, to have that title, that's special. You know what I mean? That's special right there. Talk about Coach Boeheim for a minute. Just, what was it like playing for him? And then give me one of your funniest stories of Coach Boeheim. It could be in the locker room, whatever, just during practice, because it was a lot of them. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, going to Syracuse, you're playing for a Hall of Fame coach, and Coach Boeheim, he might be the most honest person you'll ever meet. He'll just tell you how it is, flat out. So, and as a player, I always respect that the most. I mean, I never like when people sugarcoat things and or they might say something to your face and then say something later behind your back. Coach Boeheim, what you felt, he would say it to your face. So, as a player, I love that about him, and I respected him so much for that. And he taught me a lot about the game of basketball, and he really helped me build my confidence in myself as a player as well. So, yeah, it was an amazing experience playing for him. But funniest story or craziest story. So Coach Boeheim, he really never yelled at me.
Right.
It was very rare, very rare.
Cause you was the man. Shit, he ain't gonna yell at you.
Yeah. So it was very rare. So I think it was my junior year. We were playing against Georgetown at the Dome, and I'm playing terrible. I think first half I only have like 4 points, and we're losing. So he takes me out the game, and he starts yelling at me for the first time ever. And he's telling me like, you're trying to play professional basketball and you can't score against Georgetown, all this other stuff. So gets in my face, and go in the locker room. He's still yelling at me. And I think the second half, I ended up having like 24 points in the second half. So, I mean, he just knows how to turn that switch, and especially with me, like that opened my eyes. That opened my eyes because I was definitely sleeping that game, but he got on me, and I ended up having a great game, and I think I had a game winner that game as well. So
Yeah, that was the Georgetown game where you came down and hit that game winner with tough little in and out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right at the foul line area. And your body was twisted a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember that. But no, you're right though. That's what like Coach Boeheim, he finds the little trigger points, but he knows who he could do it with. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't had to do it with you your whole career because you already knew what time it was. Like when it was game time, you was gonna turn up. But like now, okay, you haven't one of those games. He know he could push your button because he know in the back of your mind, you probably like, man, fuck this motherfucker. You know what I mean? I know I was. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go out there and prove to him that this shit ain't gonna shake me. I'm gonna go out here and have a great second half, and if in your case hit a goddamn game winner. So I guess it did work. You know what I mean? He pushed that right button.
Definitely worked.
He pushed that right button. What's your most memorable moment in your Cuse career?
Most memorable moment. I would say the tournament run we had. I mean, it was an amazing run. I think what made it so much more special is we were 11 seed. No one thought we should have been in the tournament. I remember people thought like, how did Syracuse get in? All this other stuff that people were talking.
You had the playing game.
Yeah, we had the playing game. It was tough. So just to make that run and beat some pretty good teams and almost beat a very good Duke team as well. I think we lost by 3 or 4. I think that was a special moment for us and for our team.
That was fun too, bro. I was on stage. It was just fun that year. We had a lot of talented guys. Yourself, O'Shea, like you said, Frank. That was a fun year, man. I got to go back home for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, see the fam. So no, that was definitely a dope year. So let's talk about after Cuse now. You had a great have a great career, one of the most clutch players in Cuse history. But now it's a business. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a business. So you end up playing in the G League, got Minnesota. You got the I think the Exhibit 10 contract going on. So kind of talk about those early years playing in the G League and the NBA and how that was different from playing at Cuse.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was not easy, especially my first year out of Syracuse was not easy. I mean, going through the whole just draft process, I had injuries and other things that were bothering me throughout the whole summer. And then I ended up at Minnesota on Exhibit 10. And once again, that wasn't an easy situation. I mean, we had a lot of NBA summer guys that would come down, and your minutes would be fluctuating. So I mean, that was a situation I definitely had to try to figure out the best of my ability. But then also that season, the season ended short because of COVID.
Yeah.
it was just definitely a crazy season in general, especially for me. It was definitely tough mentally, um, you know. But as a player, you're gonna go through seasons like that. You're gonna go through times where you have to just try to figure things out, because that's just how life is, and that's really it.
So, what was in your mind? Because you stuck over here for a little bit,
Mhm.
back and forth, G League, NBA. When in your mind did you really decide, like, all right, I'm gonna go overseas and get this bag? Because guys, you could stick over here, but it's just you after a few years, it's about time to make some real bread. You know what I'm saying? Not saying G League is different now; guys are making more money, but you're a guy who could go overseas and make six figures. You go over to Russia. You talked about Italy and now Israel. Tell me about your first time going overseas and then what you thought about the gameplay over there.
I mean, the biggest reason was, I think, because I felt like in Minnesota I was playing out of position a lot of times. I mean, Syracuse, I had the ball in my hands, I was making plays, combo guard, stuff like that. Minnesota, I wasn't playing that way. So I spoke to my agent, and I told him I really want to, remind people who I am and play my game the way I want to. So I ended up going to Russia in the BTB, which is a very good league. You have 3 EuroLeague teams, CSKA, Unix this year, Zenit. So it's a great league. I mean, but it's definitely a culture shock. It's definitely a culture shock. Just being out of the country for the first time. And the biggest thing people don't understand is the style of play. The European style of play is so different from the United States. So being a younger guy, because I was young considered being overseas, so being a young guy trying to figure all that out was definitely a hard situation as well. But at the end, I think I finished that year off pretty strong. I started off a little slow, but I finished off the year strong, and it just taught me a lot about the game of basketball. And at the end of the day,
Being overseas and shit, you're not going over to Russia anytime soon. I know that, but
uh,
being overseas, what did you really learn about your game and also about yourself? Because you spent a lot of alone time, right? That's probably as much alone time as you spent in a while, bro. It could be tough mentally. So what did you really learn about your game and then just about yourself?
man, it was difficult because this is prime COVID time. I mean, everything's closed. And just the style of play is just messing with me a little bit, because in Russia things are very, I mean, European basketball is very, it's a very technical game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different from the United States. Even if you have athletes, so in the NBA there's athletic guys, but they can't stay in the paint for 3 seconds. You have defenses staying in the paint. It's a
Yeah.
more physical game. I mean, again, you're not getting fouls. You're used to getting fouls. Fans are a little crazy sometimes. So it was definitely hard on me mentally. Just being alone. I mean, I was 12 hours. It was a 12-hour time difference for my family. Um, and actually, every away game. So I was in Siberia. So every away game, yeah, I was in Siberia. So every away game, we had to fly to Moscow first, which is a 5-hour flight and a 4-hour time difference. Like,
Ah, damn.
yeah, so it was a tough year. But as I was there, I mean, I got to know people, showed me around. I started understanding the style of play a little bit better, and I really, at the end of the day, I really enjoyed my time there. I'm gonna be honest, I had a great time. I love Moscow, I love St. Petersburg. They're beautiful cities. And it's unfortunate what's going on now, but I enjoyed my time while I was there.
Yeah, and too, like, just a perspective that when I was playing over there, I tried to keep in my mind, like, not, I mean, who gets to do this, bro? Travel the world for free and then get paid for it to play ball, doing what we love to do. Like,
Yeah.
Experience different cultures. I mean, my mind was so opened up just by seeing different parts of the world. I mean, I know that's something that you were able to, do is experience the culture.
Yeah, yeah, and as Americans, that sometimes we just see what's going on in the news, and we just have a very narrow-minded like perspective on things. But while I'm out there, I'm getting to know people. I'm getting to talk to them and really understand their thought process about the things that are going on. And it was really eye opening for me because, especially a place like Russia. I mean, there's a lot of there's up and down things about how people feel about Russia. So just to talk to the people who actually live there, citizens who live there, even my players, my teammates, people I met outside of basketball. It definitely opened my eyes about things that are going on around the world. So
Absolutely. So we'll go back and talk about Cuse real quick. Favorite place to eat in Syracuse? What's the favorite place that you went? I know it might have been Mom's or some shit, but I know you was there frequently.
Favorite place to eat? Man, what's my favorite place to eat in Syracuse? It's definitely Mom's for breakfast.
Right.
Definitely Mom's for breakfast. I was there all the time. You saw me there. I was there every day. But yeah, I have to go with Mom's. Gotta go with Mom's.
Smart. Yeah. Mom's is fire. The jersey.
Yeah. The jersey, like a little jersey sandwich with the hash brown. Yeah, every day.
What is, bro? You spent a good amount of time at Cuse. You got to know people in the community. You got to know how passionate people are in the community about Syracuse basketball. It's like no other place, right? We're the pro team. You know what I'm saying? That's how they treat you. And when you go back, you damn near might as well still be playing because that's how they treat you. What does the Syracuse community mean to you? Just overall, man, just having been there for 3 years, what do they mean to you?
I mean, it means so much. I mean, just be able to welcome me as a 18-year-old kid. I didn't know what to expect going to college, going to university, and playing for such an historic program. And they welcomed me with open arms. And even after I left the program, I mean, Syracuse is really worldwide. I mean, I've been places even in Russia, Italy, I mean, Israel. There's people holding up Syracuse signs when I play and stuff like that. So I mean, it's really a family, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Who wins one-on-one right now? You or your brother?
Me. My little boy, he's making it harder for me though. He's making it harder for me. If we got him on this call right now, he would, But yeah, he still hasn't beat me in a one-on-one. But he's getting better and better. I know this summer I gotta be ready to play because he's getting better, man.
Hey man, I remember when I was getting back in shape, we were playing one-on-one all the time. Man, bro, you was beating the shit out of me for a while, And we play in spots, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we play in spots, yeah.
People don't know, like, bro, you a good fucking defender too, because you strong, you can move. So I remember I got my couple in though, but I remember like, yo, we gotta play again, man. Fuck all that. Like
we every Sunday. That was our day off, going out on the Sundays, get the one-on-ones in.
Yeah, I don't talk about it too much, I keep that between me and you. But no, that was, you a hard motherfucker to guard. I know that. That's a fact.
Yeah, because I take pride in my ones. So right. Anytime I step on, especially one-on-ones, I'm not trying to lose those to nobody. So
yeah, that was. I remember I think I was getting ready for TBT or something. Maybe in that summer, I was just trying to. I'm like, man, motherfucker, you gonna make me not want to play, motherfucker. Nah, that was we was competing though. That shit was fun.
Yeah, but that's the best part. I mean, the summertime, your off days, and that's what's the best part about having you around. I mean, you're just a competitor, and you love the game of basketball, and just having a guy that you can just hit up and be like, all right, let's get in the gym and play some one-on-ones. It's not easy to find. So I mean, to have a person like you around, and that was great for me.
Facts. They need to get me back on staff. Just my man Tyus co-signing. I'm just saying, it's all good though.
Yeah, definitely.
Last question, bro. I'm gonna get you up out of here. I know it's probably getting a little bit late over there. Talk about your plans this summer, man. I know we've been wondering if you're gonna play TBT sometime. We coming off the championship, defending champ. We trying to defend it. So are you gonna be making an appearance? And it's in Cuse. So you making an appearance this year?
I think I might be. I know I hit you up about it. I talked to Belby about it and everything else. I mean, even last year, I wanted to play. But I had a couple injuries that I had to deal with.
You had that 80 racks too. I'm just saying.
I know. Believe me, I know. So, yeah, I think this year I might have to make an appearance.
That'd be dope, bro. That'd be dope, man. Well, I appreciate you, bro, taking the time. I know you getting it in over there in Israel, doing your thing. Keep working hard over there, bro. Finish the season strong, and I look forward to seeing you this summer in Cuse, man.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
All right.